A long time ago, I was a part of the Overwatch community for quite a few years. Overwatch was basically the love of my life in terms of video games. It was my favorite video game, well, second favorite video game of all time. Nothing will ever dethrone Legend of Dragoon for me. I'm sorry, it's just not happening. But it was one of my favorite video games of all time. I was absolutely deeply connected and in love with the game. I was so endowed with learning everything about it. I was a coach for a while for it. I loved Overwatch. And at one point, I had quit the game for 2 years. And what made me quit the game wasn't the developers, it wasn't the meta, it wasn't the battle pass. Well, we didn't have a battle pass back then, but it wasn't like the monetization. It wasn't any of that. What made me quit the game for 2 full years was the community. As I have spent more and more time in online spaces, one of the things that I have come to realize is that people ruin everything. They absolutely destroy everything they touch. I remember a very long time ago, I saw this video from The Amazing Atheist. That's a name I bet most of you haven't heard in a while, that said humans are evolution's biggest mistake. And while The Amazing Atheist is a very odd individual that I am hesitant to agree with I don't know proper sentences. While the Amazing Atheist is someone I'm hesitant to agree with anything on, I agree with him on that, right? Because humans ruin every fucking thing they touch, right? They ruin the environment, they ruin fun hobbies, they ruin creativity, they ruin art, they ruin everything. Humans are absolutely terrible, right? And if you're sitting there thinking, yes, every human is shit, every human except me, then you're probably worse than the rest of us, right? So I believe, at least for me, I believe that humans ruin so much, and it's so hard to have fun and exist in spaces and in hobbies without having a lot of things ruined for you. I think one of the biggest problems that I've seen, at least in the past, is that every time something that someone doesn't like happens, they tend to speak about the fact that they don't like it as if everyone shares their opinion. And what's even worse is when they're proven wrong, and objectively wrong, they continue to spout their bullshit. Which brings me to today's video. So Arella Rose recently dropped for Dead by Daylight in patch 8.7.0. There were some very interesting changes that came to the game, a couple of them that I didn't particularly care for, but overall, most of the changes were good and healthy and interesting for the game. There's a lot of good stuff to help the new player experience a little bit more, as well as some buffs to killer perks, killer powers, some nerf to killer perks, killer powers, some buffs to survivor perks, and not really any nerfs to survivors. Survivors kind of escaped this without necessarily getting nerfed, which is something that happens from time to time. There have been patches where killers did not get nerfed at all and only got buffs. So it's something that does happen from time to time. In the interest of live service balancing, you're going to have stuff that kind of bounces back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Unfortunately, when you exist within the Dead by Daylight community, everybody will try to ruin your happiness every single chance they get, because Dead by Daylight players are, without a doubt, some of the most miserable human beings on the planet, and they could solve 99% of their problems if they would just play a different fucking game. What I mean is, when I released my video for the patch notes, I did mention a couple things that I wasn't too impressed with and things that I thought needed to change, but as I just told you in my opinion, I think overall the patch was extremely healthy for the game, very, very interesting, and very, very nice and good. And the response to me saying that was a bunch of whiny, bitchy killer mains going, "Oh my god, behavior is just, they just love survivor mains. They're catering to the survivor mains. And this is nothing new, right? This happens every single time survivors get even one buff inside of a patch, and the opposite thing happens, right? Before all the survivor mains start jumping into my comments going, yeah, those fucking entitled killer mains. This happens whenever killer mains get buffs too, right? A bunch of entitled survivor mains come fucking crawling out of the dirt like the Huns in the Mulan movie to go, oh my god, I can't believe that behavior just loves killers so much they're sucking killer cock all day long. It's ridiculous. The tribalism in this community is something that I've been meaning to make a full nuanced video on for a very long time, but it is always, and I do mean always, objectively incorrect. Every single time you hear somebody try to claim that behavior is actually blank-sided, they are always objectively incorrect. They will give you a list of ways that behavior has nerfed their side and buffed the other side, and every time, without fail, you are able to also show them how behavior has buffed their side and nerf the other side, and then they'll like put their head in the fucking sand or just vanish off the face of the earth because they never have actual responses. My favorite is whenever I point out, no, you're wrong, here's actually how your side has been helped recently, they'll just call me a slur and then get banned from my community. But at the very, very top of the objectively wrong bitching and moaning and complaining is the ever prevalent, this patch will kill the game. The game will die in this amount of time, yada, yada, yada. Now, I do believe, and I will say this up front, that there is going to come a time when Dead by Daylight is basically unplayable, right? Every single patch that comes to the game basically nukes the code. There's game-breaking bugs everywhere, including involving things that shouldn't be touched. For example, the Orella patch brought this really weird bug with Vecna's Dispelling Sphere where you can get flash banged by your own Dispelling Sphere because it just has this weird graphical glitch that just comes out of nowhere and is bright as shit. It's very, very odd. I've heard reports from Singularity players that their camera deployment is being a little bit delayed. It looks like there's a delay on deployables for some reason. Someone also told me that there's a Nemesis bug. I don't know if the Nemesis bug is true. I haven't actually gone to test it, but there's a Nemesis bug where his fists are counting as special attacks now for some reason. So yeah, every single time a patch releases, there's some game-breaking bugs, and I have said in the past, and I do stand by this, that behavior will kill their game if they do not eventually figure out how to fucking stabilize it. But that's not what these people are referring to. So I'm gonna throw a screenshot up, and these are some censored names because I don't really want to focus on who's saying these, more on what is being said. And one of these people regularly watches my videos, so there's no doubt that you're going to see this, and I do want you to know you're a fucking idiot. But anyway, the comment thread goes, "Survive by Daylight changes. Survivors might be over the moon with this patch." The response says, "Sooner or later, killers will finally have had enough." I've been playing this game for 2.5 years. Y'all been saying this shit since I started playing and even before. And miraculously, there's still killer players. Listen to me, bro. If there were killer players back when BNP could complete a gen with the press of a button and bully squads could literally hold you hostage by standing under a hole, this game is always going to have killer players, okay? It's always, like, there is no, all you have to do is watch an Ardetha video or two or a Sorkozy video to know that killer players used to have it absolutely horrendous in this fucking game, okay? This game used to be so bad for killer players, I am genuinely surprised it ever had a killer player base, okay? Like, trust me, this game is fine, okay? Anyway. This FNAF chapter will probably kill the game. Absolutely no evidence to back that up. That we don't even know what the FNAF chapter is bringing. We have no unearthly idea what balance changes are coming, what the new killer's gonna look like, what the survivor perks are gonna look like. I'm assuming we're getting a new map, right? We have no idea what's coming. Just an absolute random ass sentence, just out of fucking nowhere, bro. It's crazy ass fucking statement. Because new people will buy to experience the chapter and get bullied from the game thanks to the shitty killer tutorial and the amount of BS survivors get now. Dog, what are you fucking rambling about? First off, the tutorial is shitty for everyone. I don't know why, like, in this person's head, the tutorial is like this great safe haven of teaching survivors how to do everything they could ever possibly know, when in fact it doesn't even come close to doing that. It actually teaches survivors wrong things. Like, there's a spot in the tutorial where it teaches you to drop a pallet to distract the killer. I'm not fucking kidding you here. Like, that's an actual spot in the tutorial. They teach you to drop a pallet to distract the killer. They teach you to like hide in lockers nearby when you hear the killer's terror radius. Like, the tutorial's just shit for everyone, dog. In fact, I would even argue the tutorial is better for killer players than it is for survivor players, right? Because killer players don't have to learn the abilities of like 39 characters on top of the 100 and something perks they have to learn, right? Like, survivors have to learn 100 and something perks plus the abilities of 39 characters, not 39 abilities, mind you, the abilities of 39 characters, how to uniquely counterplay all of those characters, and like all this other shit. So like, I don't want to fucking hear it, right? Okay. But also the amount of BS survivors get now. What are we saying here? Right? Because a lot of survivor stuff has been heavily nerfed, right? Boone's Circle of Healing no longer exists. Dead Hard, it can only be used twice in a match now. Now, thankfully, hopefully pretty soon, map offerings are going to get that huge nerf that we've been waiting for. Although, I will say this, one thing that I've kind of realized that a lot of people don't, is that killers can benefit from match offering, or from map offerings too. You guys do know that. You've got a couple of killer-sided maps in the game. You can bring survivors to Haddonfuck and just be a royal pain in the ass. I hope you understand that. Like, pretending like map offerings only benefit survivor players is weird. But anyway, so those are about to get taken out. Like, and there's always constant balance changes going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. So this idea that like survivors are just getting all of this, and like, dude, we just got one of the most powerful killers in the game, even after the nerfs he got this patch. Even after the fucking nerfs Kaneki got this patch, he is still in the top 5 killers in the entire game. 2 killers before him, Dracula, is in like the top 8, top 7, something like that. So like, I just don't want to fucking hear it, right? I just don't want to hear that killers aren't getting anything, blah, blah, blah. But here's the sentence that made me sit down to address this video. It says, I agree. 2 or 3 more patches like this, and they will see permanent damage to their player base. It's so sad. How can they do so many bad changes? What are these bad changes? Nobody fucking knows, right? Because these people never talk with any nuance, right? All they ever do is just scream about how bad everything is and how horrible everything is, and that's it, right? It feels like they hired COD designers to work on DBD. What does that even mean? What does that even mean? I made a video a long time ago where I expressed that the Dead by Daylight community sucks at discussion, right? And I like laid out a whole bunch of stuff like they never listen to what's being said. They only hear so they can argue with you. They are objectively wrong like 90% of the time they're trying to talk. They don't allow themselves to actually look outside of their own personal biases. They ignore facts, like all this other stuff. One of the things I don't think I ever mentioned was how the DBD community just completely lacks nuance, right? Like, okay, I want to tell you guys one of my favorite comments I've ever gotten, right? And it was a recent comment. I did a killer tier list video. 59 minutes and 17 seconds I spent explaining my placements for every single killer in the game in that tier list. Now, you're welcome to disagree with that tier list. It's one of those things that people just happen to do. They happen to disagree, and that's fine. The comment that I received said, and this shut down my entire video, right? You guys ready for this? Like, every killer in this list is placed wrong. That was it. That was the comment. That was the whole comment. 59 minute video. That was the whole fucking comment. Honestly, I should just unlist that video and redo it. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, there's no nuance here. So people are just saying shit to say shit. And if we wrap back around to my point in the beginning of this video where I said humans basically ruin everything they touch, communities tend to ruin games. If anything ever kills this game, right? If anything ever kills Dead by Daylight, it will be you incessant whiners. I am begging you guys, for my sanity, for the sanity of others, and mostly for your mental health, go play a different fucking game, right? For a day, for a week, for a month, for a year, forever. I don't care. Go play a different fucking game. right? If you spent thousands of dollars in Dead by Daylight, time to cut your fucking losses, right? If all you're gonna do, every single patch video, every single patch forum, every single, honestly, not even just patch videos, just every single video, just all this shit, just go play a different game, right? Because the thing is that you're allowed to express your grievances and you're allowed to complain. I would be a hypocrite if I told you you weren't allowed to complain. I complain about this game all the time. However, the way that you guys talk about it, you talk about it not in a way that, hey, these things suck, I would like them to improve. You talk about it as if it's all this like maliciousness aimed at you, right? You're like the devs are stupid, the devs are incompetent, the devs are lazy, the devs hate the role that I play, right? You talk about all of this as if it's a personal attack on you, and that's why I'm telling you to just fuck off somewhere else, right? Because even when people are trying to celebrate the things that they like, you try to ruin their happiness. And that's just fucking weird. It's fucking weird to try to ruin other people's happiness, right? But yeah, that's what I wanted to make a video about. Stop saying that the game's gonna die in a couple of patches. I've been hearing this shit for 2.5 years. Veteran players have been hearing it since fucking 2016. It hasn't happened yet. You're a freaking weirdo and you're bringing down everybody's mood for no reason other than your own life sucks, right? And as always, a great big special thank you to my channel members listed on screen now. If you want to find out how to become a channel member today, get awesome perks like seeing videos early, merch discount codes, and more, then please click that join button down below. I love you guys so much, and I will see you in the next one.